Alrighty. We have, I got a new palette. I know it seems like I'm a little bit out of hand, but you know, mixing colors is really good. It's good for us to practice that. So, alright, so I've got white and purple, and I've got this sort of angled flat brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it to where they're sort of next to each other like this, and I'm going to drag it together to make a sort of blended color, okay? And then I'm going to do turn this around and go back this way, making sure my brush is still in the same orientation. We don't want to switch directions, and just load my brush with that, okay? Now, let's do some flowers, okay? So right here in the center, let's see, this brush might be really big, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to hate this, but we'll see. So let's do like a little, I'm not sure if I want it that direction. I think I want it a little bit more purpley. And let's start with the dark part in the center. And let's do a little loop. Okay. Loading up again, just making sure I've got plenty on there. Let's do another loop where the dark's in the center. I've got so much texture on this board from the heat gun, melting it a little bit. Let's do another one. Might should have used a smaller. Dark in the center, just gonna do a little flower. That one worked better. A little flower. It's having trouble with all the texture on here. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit. And you know, worst comes to worst, my friends, you could actually just wipe it off and start over on that part, okay? So this is going to be our little flower in the center of our shoe. And I'm going to do another one maybe like right here. Okay, so I got this little flower, and then we'll go in and we'll do some little details with our detail brush, okay? All right, let's go back to our dark purple and not use that light purple, and let's do some little centers to our flower. This brush feels like it's gotten dried up. Okay. And maybe we'll put a yellow center. We use a bright yellow center. So let's get some of that bright yellow. We could do 3 dots. Okay. Now, that is one way you can do it. You can also put one of these little starfish, which I'm going to teach you how to do next. So this picture is basically done. Of course, you all don't have these yet, and I'm going to show you how to do the shells just by themselves, coming right up. Okay, don't forget to sign your name when we're finished with this. Alrighty, so let's switch to our other painting, and I'm going to show you how I did these shells. Okay, so we're going to put a shell here and a little starfish here and a little shell over here. So the thing that you need for this is actually white, and I'm going to use this new palette because I don't have any white that hasn't been messed up. So we're going to put some white in here. We're going to get a round brush. And then we're going to lay in the white part to do our designs on. This is going to go so much faster than you realize, okay? Let me make sure my camera position so that you can see. I got a lot of palettes going today, don't I? All right. So we're going to do a sand dollar right here. And sand dollars are kind of, they're roundish, but a lot of sand dollars aren't perfectly round, just in case you wondered. I grew up picking up sand dollars off the beach when I lived in Corpus Christi. So and I have a lot of good memories. Okay, so let's do some little, not quite perfectly round. And then we're going to leave this side sort of sticking out. And actually, I think I want to make this a little bit bigger. I think I want to go bigger with this guy. So just make like kind of a half circle on the top. We're going to kind of leave that side unshown because it's going to be in the sand. And then maybe this guy is going to come out a little bit and do that little thing where it comes up like that. Okay? I know that doesn't feel like a sand dollar. Trust me, it will be when we get done with it. Okay. Now, let's move over to this corner and do our starfish. Our starfish is going to be here. So we're going to press down and pull up, press down and pull up, press down and pull up. Okay, and you can pull out your edges just a little bit more. And then we don't want them to be sharp. So we're going to go in there and soften that edge just a little bit. We want it to be kind of rounded. And, you know, not all starfish are perfect. So don't make it like a perfect star like, you know, you would one in the sky. You want rounded ends. That got a little bit big there, so we have to make them a little bit bigger to fix it. And that's okay. There's all different shapes. And you could even put like a little divot on the end if you wanted. Okay? And then over here, we're going to do sort of this clammy, sort of scallopy shell. So we're going to do kind of a circle. Okay? And then sort of looks like a UFO. All right, and for these shells, what we're going to do is we're going to use our little tiny brush. And we're going to mix light purple and light blue. So we're going to take this guy right here. White and purple. I'm going to put just a little bit more purple in there. Okay, so it's a pastel purple using purple and white. And get all the excess off. And we're going to start here. First thing we're going to do is make kind of like a starfish on the inside. So just take your brush. Or like a flower. I mean, it could kind of pass as a flower inside there. This is the shape that a lot of them have. Okay, so get that in there. Then let's go do the starfish. Put some lines in that guy. We're going to pretend like the starfish is maybe upside down. Well, I suppose you wouldn't have to. We're just going to put some lines in. This is not exactly, you know, scientifically perfect, but let's get some shadows in there. Maybe a little spot in the middle because that's a focal point. So let's just go for it. I'm doing this one a little bit different than the other one. Okay, and then over here, we're really just doing stripes. So one up here, one here, and one at the bottom. Okay, and while we're over here, let's go ahead and dip in some purple, some darker purple. And we're going to just sort of come at the sides to give a little shadow. Okay, and then we're going to hit our blue, or our turquoise up here. And let's just touch the side just a little bit. Just to show those lines. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush because that purple's messing up my details. Okay, now let's come back to our starfish again, and let's do some little texture dots. I think I need a little bit more on my brush. I'm going to do little dots. I watered down this teal a little bit. I'm going to do some texture on this guy, okay? So I'm going to show you my palette. I'm using this sort of tealish color that we made. Well, let's just do those little roughy edges. Just do some little dots. You could even throw some pink in there if you wanted too. Okay. All right, and let's go back to our sand dollar and let's add some value to that. Let's first start off by doing a little swoosh coming out from the center. Okay, and then we're going to dip into that dark purple again. You don't have to clean your brush, but you can if it bothers you. And I'm going to come over here with that dark purple and the bluish teal that was in my brush. And let's do those little holes. So we're going to do like a little oval here. An oval here. They have these little holes that are in them that look really cool. Okay, and then let's just do some little detail dots, okay? We're just kind of showing that these are like the tiniest little holes. It's just fun. Now, the other thing that we need to do to complete this painting, to really push it over the edge, is a little bit of shadowing under these shells. They're cool like they are, and so, like, I mean, it's totally fine, but this is, you know, for your education. So, let's take some the dark brown. Do you remember we made that a while back? We put some water in here. We added a little bit of this dark brown, a little bit of this burnt umber and raw sienna together. I'm going to do just a little bit darker. This is starting to dry up here, but lots of water, okay? I want quite a bit of wateriness in it. We want it to be thinned down quite a bit. Can you see that? And now we're going to go in and lay in just a couple of shadows, and we are finished. Can you believe it? All right, so we're going to go in under these things, and we're going to plant them. So that's, being a good artist, you got to go in and make your piece look like it's actually there by incorporating some little tiny shadows. And you can take your finger and sort of blend it just a little bit if you want. Or use water down. Not like watercolor. Let's go in here and put a little shadow behind there. We're going to pretend like the shell is really sitting in the sand. Okay, so it looks really dark right now. We're going to go in and fade it out in just a second, okay? So I'm going to keep my brush there, and I'm going to put a little water on this other brush. You see that? I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to rinse it out. And I'm going to fan this out just a little bit. So that we're just getting just the slightest bit of color change, so we can see that starfish, what is this? So, sand dollar is actually in the space, not just floating out there. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to kind of do a little bit right around the top of this. And down here. You can make it sort of fan out from that spot. You don't want it to stay super localized there. And you can put it in there first, but then you need to fan it out a little bit so it looks believable. So we don't want it to be like an outline, really. Okay? So I'm going to take my other brush and fan this out. Get a little bit more water on there and just pull it out. Just the slightest hint of a shadow. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing under our starfish. So back into our watery brown that we made. And then we're going to hit just under here. Just let's get some of those cool. And you could even, cut this off and make the sand come over it or something, if you wanted to, but I'm just going to kind of go around some parts of it where there might be a little bit of a delineation if it's laying, It's a lot like our flip-flop shoe, kind of. And we can do some little texture, watery polka dots here. I'm going to show you how to do that, and then you just give them a little wipe. Just really watery, okay? And what that's going to do is it's going to give our sand some little variances. You can just do a little pat. Remember when we did our white like that? It's sort of the same idea. Just putting a little bit of texture. Okay, and then we're going to need to come in here and we're going to blend that out a little bit. We don't want it to be super dark. It's a little bit dark right now. All right, so let's get some water and do our thing where we sort of water it down like a watercolor. Okay, we don't want it sopping wet, but we're going to thin that out like a wash. Just like a watercolor wash. So that's just the slightest shadow. Okay, and I'm going to let my daughter maybe paint the flip-flops in this one, or I'll come up with something else. Maybe I'll put another shell up here, just make this one different. I don't know. But let's do just a few more over here. Really watered down brown. And then pat. You can even sort of okay. All right, that is our painting. So when you get done, you will have something like this, or you might have something that looks like this, or something that looks completely different. Okay, I hope that you've had a really good time. I've had fun making these flip-flop pictures, and once you get the technique down of how to make the water and the beach, you really could do any subject matter on the beach that you wanted. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy your picture that you made. Don't forget, I would love to see your pictures posted to the Facebook page. When you get your image complete and where you like it, you can fiddle fart with it as much as you want until you get it to where it looks the way you like it. And then post it to Facebook. We love to see people's paintings. And I don't always get as much people posting theirs because I don't do live videos due to my internet issues. But I just want you all to know, when you post pictures of the paintings that I do, it blesses me. It really blesses my heart. It encourages me to keep going. So if you do any of the pictures that I do on these YouTube tutorials, please post it and share it. We just love to see each other's work, and it just encourages me to keep going. So you guys have a blessed day. Bye.